Hello there everybody, Savannah92 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Irae Amantes Amentes. Now, in the last episode, we got quite a bit of a glimpse into Ren's past, as well as Lisa's too. And G-Ace, you kind of explained to me that yes, Lebensborn was an actual thing, except for the whole part about trying to create, supernatural super people. That's not, it was the selective breeding thing. That was actually real. Holy fuck, that's messed up. And this was a bit of confusion on my end. Him killing the father, no, it was actually because he was taken into Kasumi's family, the Ayases. I feel stupid that didn't click in my head. So yeah, that immediately did not just resonate with my head, and I feel really dumb. And now I'm even more kind of free. Now I'm even more questioning what the fuck was going on. But anyway, it looks like we are now getting pretty close to the end of this route, I assume, with the way that it's going. And, yeah, I realize the way I titled the save file is pretty freaking cringy. I know, I get it. Let me be cringy sometimes. Unless you guys actually don't like that, in which case I will stop. I'll try to go with more sillier stuff, I guess. There are things that cannot be forgotten. Things that should not be forgotten. Even if you know full well that what-if scenarios don't mean a thing in reality, at certain times, you nonetheless cannot help but wonder. Were there actions I could have taken to prevent that from happening? Oh? There once was a man who'd set his heart on becoming a priest since boyhood, and his dream came true. Also, yes, the guy that was with Reinhardt Heydrich, yes, that was Mercurius. Okay, so I wasn't imagining things. I was not. Good. He did not possess a particularly special talent for that profession. He was just an average man who achieved his position through countless days of effort. A completely ordinary life befitting an ordinary man. However, his motives were somewhat different from his peers. Peculiar. Men and women of the cloth were supposed to believe their duty brought others salvation, and hold it as the most sacred of their callings. Yet what he desired was salvation not of others, but himself. In short, he clung to faith, to his own love for God. It had been a concept ubiquitous among human societies. While religion divided into different sects with their own values, all of them had one thing in common: prayer. A belief in the existence of a greater power that created mankind. The man depended on that kind of worldview. He thought of himself as both mediocre and an aberration. He possessed no special talents as far as living as a normal man was concerned, yet he excelled at matters that had been most certainly both unnecessary and abnormal. He could see and hear thoughts and memories dwelling in all things, both living and dead, that by far exceeded simple concepts such as mind reading. He saw people as books, pebbles on the roadside as radio. The world he had been born into was a surreal aberration that no other soul would ever likely be able to comprehend. He felt alone and scared. In the end, that caused him to hasten down the road of the clergy. He hoped that being part of the world's largest organization would make him feel like human, like he belonged. God had created the world. He loved mankind and watched its acts from high above. I have no idea why it just froze there for a second. As such, the man too must have been a blessed child of the Father who art in heaven. He prayed, believed, hoped, and implored, but all of his laments ultimately fell on deaf ears. After all, the world he'd plunged into was in truth the most harrowing purgatory there was in the world of man. 'Twas oft said religion was a drug. The fact that a believer is happier than a skeptic is no more to the point than the fact that a drunken man is happier than a sober one. Man was an imperfect creation, and as such the largest faction in the society of mankind, too, had its fair share of depravity and madness. As a result, the man, too, started falling apart. He was worn thin. No wonder with this picture of him. His unnatural abilities had passed this threshold of mere agony, evolving into something that chiseled away at his very life. If he kept this up, his very existence would probably fade away in the near future. Thus, the man resigned himself to the mindset of a prisoner sentenced to be slowly but surely tortured to death. There was neither salvation nor refuge in his world. But one day, this man who had given himself to die met a being of genuine and radiant light.
1939年12月24日
December
私は
20...
真実の光を見た
1939. It was the moment that decided the fate of all those who would later call themselves the Knights of the Obsidian Round Table. Oh! Those who gathered there were from all walks of life and would have otherwise never crossed paths if not for that event. First, there were 2 female officers from respected households. Next, there were 2 prisoners who could only be described as savages. Oh gee, I wonder what one of those prisoners could be! A woman brimming with maternity and a mysterious witch. And a worn-out clergyman. To sum up the event in simple words, they were a classic Final Fantasy party. They had all been utterly defeated by 2 monsters far superior to them. Everyone trembled in fear, kneeling before the being who defied their realm of understanding. Though their feelings and circumstances were all different, they all found themselves equally subjugated. Oh! What the... Oh, shit, I just saw the shadows. The one kind of looks like a snake of some sort, while the other... maybe a lion? Possibly. That's kind of what I'm getting from these 2 here. Though their feelings and circumstances were all... oh yeah, that's right. Yes, they had no choice but to yield before those 2. Heydrich und Mercurius. I'm gonna keep calling him Mercurius. One of them was a man whose name was known throughout all of Germany. The Black Prince of the Totemkampf, the Hangman. The man who held the reins of the Gestapo, Reinhard Heydrich. The other one was nowhere near as well known, but still prominent enough to avoid total obscurity. Karl Croft. Actually, holy shit, that explains why he keeps calling him Carl. Huh. These 2 men, or perhaps the word pillars would describe them better, were beings who, to the 7 present, appeared to have undergone a complete phase shift from reality. Amalgams of aberrations and abnormalities that were too otherworldly to describe. Like they were characters from a picture book come to life. To the man who would never see the world as others could, the paranormality of God, of gold, whoops, the paranormality of God, the paranormality of gold and mercury was nothing short of a blessing. Even if the emotion in question was that of unfathomable fear, in that moment, he shared it with the others, and only gods could cede such ubiquity in the hearts of men. And above all, those 2 were the only beings he had met whose hearts and memories he could not read. As such, he swore allegiance and worshipped them as gods, all without realizing that choosing to follow them was a grave mistake.
いや、私は気づいていた。
But perhaps he merely feigned ignorance.
気づきながらも、彼らから離れられなかったのが私の罪。
But his biggest mistake was the idea that he could flee them. Okay. The war situation in the fatherland was growing worse by the day, with defeat growing more and more inevitable. On the other hand, the Obsidian Round Table only grew stronger. They were like beasts fattening off all the souls of the fatherland. No, off of everyone that had fallen as a result of World War II. The entire world. His comrades were all broken, mad. They may have claimed they hadn't changed, but the eyes of the man could not be fooled. Under the influence of the gods of the Obsidian Round Table, his comrades, both the virtuous and wicked alike, began to grow equally twisted. In hindsight, perhaps what the man truly feared was neither gold nor mercury, but rather himself. The power he had gained under their hand awakened a craving in the core of his being, an act very much akin to ripping his mask off and facing the full brunt of his inner shadow. Perhaps that was what had caused his comrades to change. Some denied it, while others grew intoxicated from the blessings. But with the power to make their own worlds, their own rules into reality, they all had turned to beasts in the form of man. The phenomena that the man madly craved was... Oh, I wish to be someone else. He couldn't stand living in a world where stones wept, wind laughed, water raged, and fire screamed. As the fires of war spread, so did the voiceless laments of people the man could perceive, drowning out his own existence. As such, he desired to be an ordinary man whose five senses perceived the world the same way as everyone else did. There was no way out there to make that dream become reality, other than to replace his brain with another's. And that was impossible. But precisely because of that impossibility, he yearned for it all the more, from the bottom of his heart. So I fled. The two leaders of the Obsidian Round Table had indeed made him share the same emotion. Absolute fear. His comrades. But the longer he spent in the presence of the two, the stronger his craving grew. He couldn't bear it any longer. He couldn't deceive himself any longer. After all, a situation where one would receive a single loaf of bread every day being kept in a perpetual state of starvation indefinitely was more torturous than simply starving to death. And so he ran away, for his own sake. He fled to the conclusion he would have met had he had never ran into the two that day. He sought for an end where he would die, borne down from starvation. He had no regrets. He didn't doubt. He just wanted to return to the point where his life had branched off. Although he was hardly a distinguished priest, he still could help others attain salvation. And even if he was an abomination who could not see things in the same way as others, he still wanted to gaze at what he found beautiful in this world. He adored children. He admired their purity. The terror of war could batter and fatigue them, but it could not take their spark away. It could not twist them the way it did adults. He wished he could meet his end surrounded by children. The man who fled from the Obsidian Round Table chose an orphanage for his grave and children as his flower offerings. Though it was purely narcissistic choice, those children, those flowers smiled at him. He put his all into raising them, as if hoping they would liberate him from all the bitter memories that plagued his mind, the painful noise of his past. So that he would attain salvation, so that the flowers would bloom beautifully. He loved their smiles. They soothed his pain and brought him happiness. As such, he had to reward them so that they would smile even more. There was nothing to be ashamed about in that reasoning. That was how human relationships normally formed. So he watered the flowers. He gave them nourishment and love. He loved them with his whole soul so they would love him back. He saved them. That time had only lasted for about 3 months of his 90-something-year-old man's life. But those 3 months were the brightest period of his life. Until that day, when everything fell apart. The Obsidian Round Table. Oh! Okay, Okay, I'm okay. The middle one who's flipping me off, that has got to be Schreiber. These other two faces. That one on the left. The name Machina. I think that's Machina. As for... Oh, this is the woman with the scar, the beauty mark on her face. I forgot your name. The golden beast uttered those words as he came upon the man's grave that turned out to be his paradise. The man remembered it all too well. He could never forget. The beast was accompanied by the Obsidian Round Table's strongest 3 members, those creatures in the shape of man that still made him nauseous just looking into them. Albedo laughed. Rubido looked at the man with contempt. Nigrido looked disinterested like always. Though the man could not read Gold's mind, it was obvious from the 3 Night Souls what was going to happen.
10
He sentenced the children to death with utter indifference, as if they truly were merely flowers to be plucked.
選び指させ
Fuck. He demanded the man to choose the flowers ripe for picking.
残りは K のものでよい
But he would receive 10 of them first.
K の値段だそれを代価にここで支払え
The number 10. 10 children. The man couldn't tell if that was a coincidence or an inevitability. There were exactly 10 alien flowers on the man's grave. At that point in time, those flowers were illegal to possess in their country. Cherishing them was an act punishable by the law. Huh? I don't know how to interpret. The children were illegal? The man had never once discriminated them. He loved them all equally and neutrally, only seeing them as beautiful blossoms and nothing more. Okay, so, God, my history is pitiful. And yet...
1人
His finger pointed at them. He couldn't escape the eyes of his beloved flowers gazing at him with confusion and fear.
2人
Every time the man's finger moved, Albedo's gun made a dry sound, scattering the chosen flower. Their petals turned to red spurts of blood. Their cries of lament pierced the man's heart.
3人
Yet for a reason even he could not fathom, the man's finger did not stop. He selected his cherished flowers one after another with no hesitation.
4人
And what he hated more than anything else was the vulgarity known as self-interest nestling in his heart. Despite the situation, his mind was rationalizing it all as an act of self-defense.
5人
All the others would likely be plucked if he didn't choose those 10. It was a matter of arithmetic.
6人
That was the best choice to minimize the damage. He believed he was making the right choice, that he wasn't doing anything wrong.
7人
Such was his reasoning. But would the plucked flowers agree? No. Never.
8人
He loved them. He still loved them. He loved them so much that he'd wanted to save them all.
9人
But they were slipping out of his hands. No. He was letting them go. What was lacking? What was wrong? The answer was clear. This twisted worldview. His eyes didn't see the color of blood the way everyone else's did. His eardrums did not hear the same sound of pain or in screams. The brain that governed them both, this body, this vessel, containing all of him. It was hopelessly defected. He didn't need it. He didn't need this thing. He wanted to rid himself of this brittle vessel and become someone else. Someone truly perfect. He heard children's voices calling out his name. The flowers crying, asking to explain. Love was, love was, love was, love was. Oh Lord, where art thou?
10人
Once the final flower scattered, the man had an epiphany. I see. There is no God in this world.
故に私はあなたを憎む
Oh, the birth of Tarifa. That should have immediately connected in my head whenever it said a priest, but the picture was, it didn't look like Tarifa. You who I long for, you whom I wish to mantle.
私が知る真に完全なるもの。
The strongest of entities, independent, inviolable.
あなたを敬い、あなたとなってあなたを汚す。
That was his wish, his entire being. He did not seek his own salvation. He finally realized there was no blessing in loving himself. He would walk as long as needed to atone. He was now and forever a sinner. In order to walk this path of corrupt sanctity for all eternity.
私があなたになるのだ。ハイドリ秘境。
And with that oath, Valeria Tarifa made the sign of the cross. Chapter 13, Holyoke. Son of a gun! I got backstory on Lisa, and now I got backstory on Valeria Tarifa.
あなたは本当にバカだと思う。
Also, holy hell! Wait, Himuro?
逃がしてもらったのに、リザが生かしてくれたのに、どうして戻ってきたの？頭悪いよ。
Well, this is Kasumi we're talking about. Kasumi was a bit taken aback by that those were the first words out of Rei's mouth when she was the one who said they needed to talk.
レアさん知ってるの？嫌な夢を見た。
A dream of the children of Lebensborn. Had their memories flooded into Rei too? Now they both shared the truth of their great-grandmother.
お腹痛くなりそう。
I imagine. A story sickening enough to make any woman break out into goosebumps. Disgust and repulsion wasn't enough to describe it. They didn't understand, nor did they want to. That stuff was immorality at its worst. No questions asked.
私、頭きてるの。
I don't blame ya! And what pissed her off the most.
今でも、リザのことがあまり嫌いになれない。
That woman was a monster. A woman so horribly off the virtuous track in values and choices that her very existence was an insult to the universal image of motherhood. Even when considering her position in the times, there was simply no excuse good enough for what she did. In fact, she was using Rei as her ticket to indulgence. To her, the girl was but a sacrifice to make up for her past transgressions. No one would blame Rei for cursing her name with clenched teeth. And yet...
頭くるよ。そんなあの人がしたたった一つだけのいいこと、それを無駄にしちゃおうとしてるあなたに。
Rei could not comprehend what on earth Kasumi was thinking.
私はですね。
Kasumi gave the girl a slightly troubled, guilty look.
人いっぱい殺しちゃったんですよ。首切り殺人あったじゃないですか。あれ犯人私なんですよ。だから
It was as though she was asking what that had to do with anything.
死んで償うとか言うつもり？意味がわからない。本当にわかってる？あなたがそれをするとさらにいっぱい死ぬんだよ。その殺した人たちが帰ってくるとして、他の関係ない人たちが何千人も死んじゃうのよ。わかってる？何を吹き込まれて勘違いしたのか知らないけど、奇跡とかそんなに甘くない。お願いだから、頭悪い子は早く帰って。あなたにできるプラスなんか何もないよ。じゃあ
Kasumi calmly answered the girl's harsh yet concerned harangue.
レアさんには何ができるんですか？
Good
ずい
question.
ぶん詳しいみたいですけど、いつからどれくらい知ってたんですか？私が頭悪いのは認めるけど、
She knew full well just how powerless she was.
レアさんがそうじゃないなら何もすることはなかったんですか？
Well... Ray didn't answer.
私、本当に何も知らなかったんですよ。
Everyone protected and hid everything from her. Maybe there was more she still didn't know.
全部知ってたんですか？
Everything? From the very beginning?
全部計算づくですか？違う。
Ray shook her head violently.
そんなことない。だったらレアさんは同じ学校の先輩で、あなたたちが後輩で、出会って話して仲良くなって。
Their current relationship had formed naturally.
素敵な偶然だって私は思いますよ。
Yeah.
だからよかった。レアさんが否定してくれて。
It'd be kind of heartbreaking if it was all planned to begin with.
友情パワーとか私は信じたい性分だし。
Well, then you should probably watch Fairy Tale. They hadn't been merely dancing to some unknown person's tune. Ray didn't know what to say in response.
先輩が私たちと知り合ったのは偶然だって、それだけわかればいいんです。意地悪言ってごめんなさい。
It didn't matter what she knew or how long she'd known it, much less what she agreed with. What truly mattered was that their friendship hadn't been a lie. She was fine so long as she knew just that.
だからちょっとは信じてくださいよ。私バカだけどそんなにネガティブでもないのは知ってますよね。私が来たのは勝つためです。
Yeah, your kendo sword?
早瀬さん。
Ray didn't exactly understand what Kasumi was talking about, but she nonetheless expectantly waited for Kasumi to continue.
言いましたよね。私は人殺しだって。だからけじめつけないといけないんですよ。
It was highly unlikely any of her victims would forgive her for simply remembering, acknowledging, and regretting her crimes. No, probably not, but there's still an effort. She had to find something she could do to make up. She had to consider all the options. Just sitting and doing nothing, protected with kind and indulgent words, wouldn't cut it.
先輩、レンのこと好きですか？
That was how she felt, and she wanted things to be clear between them.
あいつのダメなところ10個くらい言えます？いきなり何を言って。
This is extremely random. Ray raised an eyebrow, but Kasumi just continued.
まず意外に短気、すぐ嘘つく、秘密主義、思ってること口にしない、鈍いふり大好き、かっこつけ、顔かわいいのに褒めると怒る。
Kasumi blared off her complaints like a machine gun, regarding Ray with eyes urging her to join in. Indeed, Ray agreed that there were quite a few things that irritated her about Ren. He wasn't the type to anger easily, but it was true he did piss her off more than just simply once or twice.
あと古い。
There weren't many boys like him in this day and age anymore. Old-fashioned?
実は男尊女卑志向。
Wow. Okay, good point. That might very well be the case. He always kept repeating how should do things because he was a guy.
極めつけはやっぱりあれでしょ。
The two girls uttered the 10th one, the flaw that angered them the most, in perfect unison. This one could absolutely never be left out. The king of irritating flaws in Ren's character. For...
みんな一人で片付けようとするところ。
That would only work to worry and concern them, ultimately driving them to chase him against all better judgment. He had a sense of volatility about him, as if he might just go and disappear if one didn't keep their eyes glued on him. It was certainly cool that he never grumbled or complained, but it made it all the harder to notice if he only silently cried in his heart. The girls were terrified at the prospect of being blind to this pain.
そう思うのは私も同じで。
Kasumi gave a fleeting smile and nodded as though she'd read Ray's mind.
ねえ、レアさん、気づいてますか？今のまんま別の誰かさんに当てはまるってこと。 私気づいちゃったんです。放っておいたらどこかで立てなくなってそうな人のこと。気づいちゃったからほっとけない。レアさんがそこに行っちゃダメだよ。
That was the exact same line that Ren had once said to her. You shouldn't be in a place like this.
いろいろ知っちゃったし分かったし、まだ半信半疑なところもあるけど、要するに私の方が劣ってるってことなんでしょ。だったらここでレアさんが頑張ってる方が危ない。これは成功させちゃいけないことだから。ほら、私ってズボラだし、みんなおじゃんにしちゃえるかもって、そんな風に思うから。
That could actually work out in our favor. Okay, we're gonna use her as a hostage. Wait, where the hell is she?
Well, she's off just doing whatever the...
Why didn't you tie her up? I don't know.
かもね。
What was Rei to do if Kasumi really meant it? She didn't think she did, but considering Kasumi, she was scared she might have. Kasumi merely figured out how to bring this state of affairs to a close in her own way. She was, in the end, both more optimistic and realistic than Rei. The girl couldn't help being impressed by her inner strength.
けじめっていうのはそういうこと？だってもともと私のせいでレンは引き返せなくなったんだもの。私が一番最初に一番どうしようもなくみんなの日常を壊したから。
Doesn't mean you have to go throw your life away. She caused Ren to get involved in it. She caused Rei to get stuck in her current position. Kasumi was what triggered it all.
だったら私が終わらせないとダメじゃないかなって思うし、逃げちゃいけないって思うよ。
Even though she was scared and nervous, she had to atone.
だから先輩の出番もレンの出番も食っちゃおうって決めたんです。文句言ってもダメですからね。今はそっちが脇役ってことで。まあ見ててくださいよ。バシッと私が決めますから。でも
Rei nonetheless couldn't shrug away the anxiety she felt. She had no idea what Kasumi was planning, but Valeria Tarifa was not to be trifled with. Though she didn't know everything about him, all she could think was that Kasumi was trying to bite off more than she could chew.
綾瀬さん、あの人は。
She had to warn her, make her understand.
ねえ、レアさん、一つだけお願い。お姉さんって呼んでいい？
Oh. Rei was exasperated by just how out of place that was. Yet she also found it kind of funny. And in the end, she was unable to find the words to change her mind.
お姉さん？うん、お姉さん。おじいちゃんが兄弟なんだから、はとこになるのかな。ちょっと驚いたけど、私素直に嬉しいよ。親戚とかいなかったし、全部終わったら一緒にお墓参りとかしたいな。
That would be nice. Lisa, Isak, Johan, to pray for their happiness in the next world, and for the many others who died.
それでお互い結婚して子供ができたらお年玉とかあげるの。一緒に初詣行って七五三とか入学式とかデジカメで撮りながらキャーキャー言いたい。
Rei smiled slightly as she pictured that image.
それはまたなんていうか燃えるね。でしょ？マジで萌え萌えっすよ。
Oh my god. It really would be nice to live in such a time.
じゃあ私のお婿さんは藤井くんを予約するから。 あなたはどっかそこら辺で適当なのを見つけなさい。ちょっと待ってみようか、電波姉さん。何よ。レンは私の。なんすかその勝ち誇ったような失笑は。だって私ギュッてされて大事な人だって言われたもん。
Well, he made out with her, so.
私だってもっとすごいの。そのなんていうか既成事実っぽいのクリアしたもん。男の過去にはこだわらないのがいい女。
Oh my god!
まああなたは秘書女っていう大爆弾を抱えたまま次の相手を探しなさい。
Jeez! Jeez! She does not give a shit!
プリン、そのレンと同じ寒い切り返しがまた腹立つのよ。性格悪い。そうか、私は藤井君と通じ合ってるんだね。いいこと聞いた。
Oh my god, she's just not stopping!
だから
Ray finally realized how important such trivial and seemingly empty conversations were to leading a normal life. And so she was grateful. She decided to think thoroughly one more time about what it was she could possibly do in this situation. Just like Kasumi, so that she wouldn't lose to her feelings.
どっちが藤井君とゴールするかは今日の頑張り次第ってことで。
Seemingly.
私負けないですよ姉さん。うん、どんとかかってきなさい妹よ。いや、はい。つうかなんで私がチャレンジャーみたいになってんだろう。絶対こっちが3馬身くらいリードしてるはずなんだけどな。
Yeah, I mean, she's already raised much more flags than you.
そういうのを妄想という。妄想じゃないもん。
Jeez, this girl does not give a shit. Indeed, they would strive their best and fight. They would give their all for the man they both loved. The door behind Ray and Kasumi opened. They turned around to see more people coming out.
負けない。
She would fight.
勝つんだ。
They would grasp victory.
仲良きことは美しきかな。とまあ、お話は終わりましたか？
Oh, hello, Toriva. Kasumi shivered, gripping Ray's hand. Ray could feel Kasumi's fear pass through to her.
では、こちらへ。フローエ・バイナハテン。
Oroe Wainahaten? I don't know. Ray could not let someone who should rather be celebrating her birthday die tonight. Not by any circumstances.
あなたの気持ちも少しだけわかる。
Oh, hey Sakurai. Kasumi passed by Kei in the chapel as she followed Torifa.
誰か生き返らせたい人がいる。そうなんでしょ？
Kei remained silent. She figured anything she'd say would be meaningless at this point anyway.
多分桜井さんの気持ちは自然なもので間違ってるかもしれないけど正しくて、みんながあなたみたいになる可能性は否定できない。誰かを好きになるってそういうことだもんね。理屈じゃなくなるし、算数なんかどうでもよくなる。
Arithmetic was the greatest and indisputable manifestation of logic and reasoning in human world. Even children knew that, but only outsiders would ever insist one to adhere to it. Only a perfectly objective stance on the full picture allowed for the know-it-all cruelty.
当事者は
Those personally involved in the matter couldn't help but turn into reckless fools, and that distortion accelerated the more people there were in the group.
達観できないよね。
Only those that loved nothing could remain objective. Those that were strong but in a cold way, as though lacking in something. those whose mental scales had been unbalanced from the very start. The madmen that had polished their common sense to perfection. It had been one of the tenets in common sense to stick with the largest faction, the veracities of its laws and morals notwithstanding. As such, Kay had nothing to be ashamed for.
でもね、
The girls could not bring themselves to look each other in the eye, but Kasumi nonetheless spoke with a clear voice.
レンならきっとこう言うよ。取り返したいじゃなくて、そもそも取り落とさない。だから私もそうするよ。あいつをなくしちゃわないように。だって私の好きな藤井蓮は何と引き換えにしたって釣り合わないんだもん。ねえ、そうでしょ、桜井さん。
Kay silently watched Kasumi's presence grow farther and farther away. She had nothing to say, no words to retort her with. Anything would have just been useless, pointless, and ridiculous at this point. She had no tolerance for pretty words. Even if she kept putting up a mask of stoicism and bravado, it wouldn't stop the bleeding in her heart. An absence created a void, a chink in one's soul. So she sealed it with corpses, and would sell the whole thing to the devil as a set. She wouldn't have been able to live with this pain any other way. That was all she could do.
まあ、せいぜい客が来ることを祈れや、レオ。
Oh! Hey, Wilhelm. She had sworn to brave this path no matter what she had to face.
期待が外れりゃ、この第七は俺がてめえの命でこじ上げてやる。
こっちのセリフだ、レイ。
Oh! Kay hoped with all her heart that Ren would arrive soon. Her feeling, a sweet obsession squeezing her heart, was reminiscent of that of Maiden's love. Damn.
さて、じゃあ始める前に確認しときたいんだけどよ。
Sounds good, Chief. Shiro stopped at the bottom of the hill and lit a cigarette. I watched as he puffed out smoke and spoke in a completely carefree voice.
この先にいるのは3人だよな。
Uh-huh.
ああ。
まず神父でしょ。それから桜井ちゃんにビルヘルム。
Three of them. We had to beat them all on the 7th swastika.
で、俺らも3人。数が合うから1人1冊って言いたいとこだが。
I have faith in you, Shiro, but unless Ellie has some sort of eldritch magic or anything like that that can combat them, no. No.
私を頭数に入れないでよ。そんな変態大戦争の当事者になんかなりたくないし。
Well, then why are you participating with us?
ま、だよな。じゃあお前は見物してろ。見てるだけでも退屈はしないだろ。
そのつもり。別にいいでしょ、レン君。
Ugh.
好きにしろよ。
Yeah, I ain't stopping you. I'd only known her for a few days, but I knew she wasn't the type to do as she was told. And honestly, I didn't have time to waste on arguing the matter.
どうせ神父は引きこもってる。俺とシローで桜井とビルヘルムの相手をすれば、お前に害はないよ。
そうね。そうなってくれると助かる。あとはまあ、期待通りの経験ができればいいんだけど。
And then I'm pretty sure after this whole fucking situation is done, everybody's dead, we're all good and happy, you and probably Cheryl are gonna have like a billion different freaking babies.
そこは運任せだな。教会なんだし、祈れよ。
Yeah, that's an idea.
冗談。
Ah, damn it. Honjo snorted and shook her head.
十字架に祈るのってギロチンや電気椅子に祈るような変態行為だと私は思うよ。
You're not wrong.
お前、それ当てつけかよ。
いやいや、そうじゃなくて素直な気持ち。真面目に考えてなんかおかしいと思うでしょ。
I haven't heard shit from Marie in a while.
そりゃな。
The cross was originally an execution device, so I could understand where Honjo was coming from. Those words sparked a question I'd almost forgotten.
シロ、お前が言ってたことはマジか。
あ？おう。あいつ本気出すと吸血鬼になるんだわ。つまり弱点ができる。
It seems Shiro learned this in his fight with Wilhelm at the school. Since a creation figment was the manifestation of one's personal craving, it apparently turned him into a vampire. Yeah.
つまりあいつだけは俺でもやれる可能性があるってことになるか。
Basically.
だからって簡単じゃねえけどな。
Also true.
それはそうだろう。
Definitely. Having a skill that only provided you with weaknesses would be beyond hilarious. So, it was reasonable to assume the benefits of that form outweighed its flaws. Or perhaps a better way of looking at it would be to say he boosted his strength at the price of actually introducing risk to the fight. Either way, Wilhelm was still a dangerous foe. But he was indeed the only one Shiro had a shot at beating, so we couldn't change the matchups anyway. Meaning the only thing I could do at this point was trust him.
新規癖顔すんなよ。お前は自分の心配してろ。
Alright.
桜井ちゃんはね、私嫌いじゃないんだけど、もうさすがに手遅れか。
Unless she suddenly turns sides, yeah, there's no point, she gotta die.
レン君は平気？一応まあ知らない仲じゃないんだし。ごめん、つまんないこと言った。
いや、いいよ。
I did indeed have a strange connection with Sakurai. It was true she was hard to deal with, and that I'd rather avoid the matter if possible. However...
お前の言う通りだよ。手遅れだ。
I had my priorities. Saving Kasumi took precedence over taking Sakurai's situation into consideration. That was all there was to it. Still, I couldn't just pass by and ignore Sakurai, and she likely had no intention of going down without a fight either. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but she was like my archenemy.
OK。だったらいいんだよ。そんなら行くか。
ああ。
I guess so.
了解。
And with that, we headed up the hill to the church, ready to face our final battle and save Kasumi and Timuro.
帰る時も全員一緒だからな。
Damn right. Shiro chuckled and Honjo shrugged. They truly were fickle beyond belief. But they were my comrades. I didn't want to let them die. Still, I knew we might as well have been marching into the netherworld. I couldn't confidently say we'd escape alive.
ようこそ。待ってたぜ、ガキども。
What up, Wilhelm, my dude? You're gonna have to wait. Sorry. You know what? Just because you mentioned that this is too much of a cringy title, I will go ahead and give it something... What would be... Actually, you know what? Ta-da! Alright guys, that is unfortunately where I'm going to have to end it. It is a little bit of a shorter episode, unfortunately, but I have a feeling that we're going to be getting into some real tough shit coming up, so... I'd rather be fully prepared for that. And unfortunately, I don't really have the time to support that, which really just freaking sucks. Other than that... Alright, so we had ourselves a somewhat nice moment between Himuro and Kasumi, which was just really nice. A very hostile moment between Sakurai and Wilhelm, and it looks like we're going to be starting things off pretty damn well by facing off with Wilhelm first. That's gonna be fucking fun. But yeah, I find it interesting how Wilhelm is basically the only opponent that Shiro has a chance at even being able to beat, just because his creation figment actually creates a weakness. Which, you know, I don't know. You would think Wilhelm wouldn't resort to that, but actually, considering his personality, it kind of makes sense that he would still do it, because, I don't know, to be fair, this dude's been cock-blocked throughout this whole freaking thing fighting Shiro. He's not really had a full chance at all. And now, he's finally getting the chance to where he will not be cock-blocked. So I can't wait to see how that turns out. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video, which should probably be coming up in about an hour. Hello there everybody, Sabato92 here, and if you like this video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And hey, if you guys like my content, then maybe you'd like to check out another channel who I think deserves equal attention. So click that nightmare emblem and check out that channel, or go to the links in the description down below. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.